This is the iPhone Air, Apple's latest addition to the lineup, and it's not a feature-heavy phone, but I don't think it's supposed to be. In fact, I don't think it has the same target audience than the iPhone 17 Pro or even the base iPhone 17. And after using it for a while, I gotta say, this doesn't feel just like another iPhone. It feels like Apple quietly testing out something different. And that something might just be the future of the iPhone as a whole. So instead of looking at it as lacking, I would argue that we should look at it as a first generation product. One that's not completely where it's supposed to be, but will get there in the future. Now, as I mentioned, it does have more than a few compromises compared to the rest of the 17 lineup. It doesn't have stereo speakers. It only has one camera lens on the back. Battery life is not ideal, although we will talk about that later in the video. And it's just overall a trimmed down version of what the iPhone 17 and 17 Pro are. But as it is with most things, it has its advantages and disadvantages, I guess. The biggest advantage being, of course, the design, build quality, and just overall engineering that went into this device. At a thickness of just 5.6 millimeters, it's actually the thinnest iPhone ever made. And with the titanium frame that they actually backtracked on with the 17 lineup, this phone feels extremely premium. Like if I show it to you, just like, look at this is a thin phone, right? Unless you hold it in the hand and use it for a bit, it's just very hard to explain how it feels. It's extremely light and so thin that you actually kind of feel like you're just holding a screen in your hand. And the fact that it does still have a titanium frame makes it surprisingly durable. When I got it, I was actually kind of concerned that they would like bend or something, but this is like, it's as durable as a phone can get at this thickness or thinness, I guess. But no matter how durable it is, you can always do more to keep it safe. Which brings us to today's video sponsor, ESR. Their classic hybrid magnetic case will give you that premium design without adding too much bulk to your phone. It's MagSafe compatible and the magnets are one of the strongest I've seen in a case so far. It has 11-foot drop protection with reinforced corners and raised edges, so both your screen and camera housing stay protected. The camera protection also doubles as a stand, which is very useful, and their case lineup has something for everyone. Genuinely one of my favorite cases out there, but also, what's a case without a screen protector? ESR's Armorite UltraFit screen protector with great impact absorption and an anti-reflective coating is one of the easiest and most convenient installs I ever tried. Comes with an alignment mold, so just place your phone inside, pull this tab, and that's about it. Perfect setup. No bubbles or dust particles. It's 7 times stronger than generic screen protectors and you get less glare and truer colors all around. ESR will keep your iPhone safe without adding too much bulk to the design. And it really feels like a quality product giving you a lot of value for the price. So check the link in the description and use my promo code for an additional limited time discount. Thank you to ESR for sponsoring today's video. Now, as I mentioned, there are some drawbacks to this phone when it comes to specs. The biggest one for me, honestly, it's actually not the battery life, but actually the lack of the second speaker at the bottom. So the Air doesn't give you as full of a listening experience as your average iPhone would. It's definitely usable, it's loud enough, it's just not on the same level as something like the 17 Pro, for example. But most of the time I'm just using Bluetooth headphones anyway, so that stops being an issue there. Now, I mentioned battery life a moment ago, and I thought it's gonna be way worse than it actually is. I've heard a lot of people online talk about this having like horrible battery life, and honestly I didn't have that experience personally. I'm not a huge power user, but I'm assuming that I use my phone like an average person would, so that social media, emails, calls, messages, I'm using the camera quite a bit, and it can still get me through the day with no issues. It gives you about 10% less on an average day than the base iPhone 17, so that's around 7 hours of screen on time total in my average day, which is actually pretty decent. Now, if you're doing a lot of heavy gaming for hours on end, video editing or 3D work, you're gonna feel the battery difference there. For most people that just use their phones for everyday tasks, this battery is more than strong enough. Both wired and wireless charging is a bit slower as well, although still improved compared to older iPhones. Now, one thing the iPhone Air doesn't compromise on is the display. It's 6.5 inches and directly comparable to the rest of the 17 lineup, with the size being the one difference. Ceramic Shield 2, the new anti-reflective coating, increased peak brightness, it has all of those. And that middle ground when it comes to size, I think is gonna be the sweet spot for a lot of people. So a bigger screen than the base 17 and way less bulk and heaviness than the 17 Pro Max. Performance is excellent. I don't even want to get into it too much. It has the A19 Pro chip, the same as the 17 Pro. And it's just really fast and you do whatever you throw at it. There were concerns about like thermal throttling stuff, which does happen on occasion if you really push it to its extreme, but all Apple chips are just really fast, and there's just not much to it. Even under heavy load, this phone is going to be fast and snappy. Even if you're gaming, you can play heavy games on this with no issues. Now, one drawback that I do notice quite a lot is the fact that it only has one camera on the back, compared to 2 on the base iPhone 17 and 3 on the 17 Pro. But it does get an updated front-facing camera, and it's the same one that's in the rest of the lineup this year. But I do feel the lack of different focal lengths on the back. If you compare it to the iPhone 17 Pro, sure, it's not the same thing. You don't have the ultra-wide or the telephoto, so basically you just have your main wide lens plus a 2x sensor crop. So when it comes to versatility, it is lacking there, but again, the main sensor is absolutely great. Photos are sharp, it has great colors, dynamic range, and most features that the rest of the iPhone lineup has, like action mode, cinematic mode, night mode, all that stuff is still available on this phone, portrait as well, and it can shoot 4K video at 60 FPS. So I would say the only thing you're missing from this camera are those different focal lengths, which may or may not be important to you depending on how you use your phone. But just as a casual shooter, you're gonna be happy with this camera, and if you wanna have something a bit more professional, a bit more versatile, then of course the iPhone 17 Pro is gonna be a better choice there. Now, with all that out of the way, why would anyone get this phone if it has so many drawbacks compared to other iPhones, and at a price point of $999 compared to the iPhone 17 that's $799? Like, why would you choose this over the regular iPhone 17? Well, basically for the vibes. I don't think that's a bad thing, by the way. It's a phone that looks and feels very different than any iPhone so far. It's just a completely new spin on things, and in an era where a lot of phones year over year look pretty similar with just your average spec bumps, this feels like a brand new experience. Now, is that enough for you personally? I don't know, but I don't think this is the last iPhone Air we're gonna see. There have been a lot of reports that sales are way lower than Apple expected, so they're cutting down on manufacturing, all that stuff. But I don't think that Apple's gonna give up on it right away. Honestly, I'm expecting second generation iPhone Air to be the phone to get. If they just add second camera and that second speaker, maybe adding a silicon carbon battery and just perfecting the form factor a little bit more, I think this can be an amazing device. And honestly, as the tech improves, it might just be the direction a lot more phones, a lot more phone manufacturers actually choose to go with. But one thing I can say for sure is that with the iPhone Air, Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge, the Galaxy Trifold, and the rumored iPhone Fold that may or may not be coming next year. This is the most fun I've had testing phones and just talking about phones in general in a pretty long time. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the iPhone Air, and if you have it, what has been your experience with it? Should Apple continue to work on this thinness angle, or just give us way more battery and a thicker device? Check out ESR, link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.